Good day and okay, good. Welcome and welcome to Vector Hub class. And this is just the beginning for everyone that have thought
All
of
right.
joining the detailed
Evening,
discourse. Good
Gospower.
evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Gospower. Good evening. Evening, everyone. Please take note of our previous discussion. Record your take a screenshot of yourself in this class now. Make a post and do the needful. Tag us and send us the link. You can post it after your class so you don't get distracted. Gospower, continue. The class is being streamed on YouTube and the class is being recorded. So, you guys should enjoy and take good care of yourself. Take care.
All right, thank you so much, sir. All right, straight away we'll go straight into the class and we'll quick start. Can we see my screen? Let me share my screen now.
No, the screen is not showing.
No, we can't see it.
Is it showing now? All right, good. So we'll start from the beginning and we're talking about if you're just joining, please mute your mic. Thank you. All right, so we're talking about data analytics, and as we all know, in this world, we have different opportunities to come across data. Everything we do in life is operational with data. For you to even go online and source for any information, of course, you should know that that's data. A lot of data compounded day in, day out. Even for you to just visit a website already, you've left a footprint of your data there. For you to go to Google, just imagine how many persons click on their web browser every day and search for things on Google. Of course, data is being left at every point in time. So from the slides, we'll see that in today's digital world, data is everywhere, from social media interactions to shopping patterns, businesses, and so on and so forth. They collect vast amount of information. And even when you're making, say some purchases online, those of us that make purchases on Temu, Jumia, and so on and so forth, they get your data, right? For you to even register for this course, you filled in a form and your data was collected, right? So that's how data is being collected day in, day out. And just imagine you working with such large amount of data and you're generating insights from it. Crazy, right? You're going to make a lot from that. Now, raw data alone isn't valuable. Yes, it might not make any sense to you because it's raw data. But when someone else sees that data, the person can make use of it. When data is not making any sense to you, like I said before, and you're just seeing it for the very first time, it's looking like, what's this? It means it might really show that you don't have any essence to use that data. In that form, it's called raw data. That doesn't mean that someone else doesn't have need for that data. It becomes useful as time goes on. Okay. Now it is what we do with it that matters. Every data that comes across every one of us day in, day out is what we do with those data that matters. Okay. And data analytics in its sense transforms this information into actionable insights that drive smarter decisions and become or bring better outcomes. You can just look at something and you'll be like, what is this? I don't understand what this is. I don't really understand where this is getting me to. Okay, don't worry, just relax, sit back and relax. At first, when I started my data analytics journey, I was really confused. I'll look at data and I'm like, what's this? What's this? What are we using it for? I'm just seeing so many figures scattered around tables, and I'm like, okay, maybe not so the thing just be. But over time, as I understanding what data look like and what I can actually derive from those data, what I can actually do with those data, and became so interesting. And trust me, those of you that are just starting for the very first time, relax. We're going to make your journey very smooth and stress-free. Okay. Just sit back and relax and feel free to reach out whenever you feel like you're confused or you don't have anything in your mind anymore. You're getting tired of the whole thing. Don't worry, we're here to walk you through the journey. Okay. Now let's look into some data concepts, and we'll be defining some stuff here. The first one is data. Like I said, it's raw facts and figures collected from various sources, serving as basic unit of information for analysis. Of course, like I said, it might not make sense to you, but that doesn't mean that that data is useless. Okay, it might not make sense to you, but it makes sense in the long run. Okay, when put in together and gathered in a certain format, of course, it makes more sense, right? Now, the next concept we'll be talking about is information. Now, those data that you've gathered in different formats, when you have processed those data, you now make it meaningful. That gives you an information. Do we get it? Now, when those data are put into compilation, you look at it and you're like, oh, wow, this is making more sense. That is where your information comes from. And the knowledge is gathered when this information is understood and analyzed. When your knowledge is understood, analyzed, you get knowledge from those data. You call them insights, in the sense that it becomes a deeper understanding derived from the knowledge you've gathered from this information of this data. I don't know if you understand what I'm going or where I'm going. Now, this knowledge you've gathered from this information, do you understand? You gather this information from where data come together, become processed, makes meaning, gives you an information, and you understand it. After it's been analyzed, you get knowledge, you get insights. Do we get? Now, the character is the most basic logical data element consisting of single alphabetical, numeric, or other symbols. Okay. As time goes on, we'll start using these concepts. And now to the next one, which is file. It is a collection of related records organized in a table-like structure. For example, an employee files containing employee records, hospital files containing client's record, and so on. Name it. The list is endless. Okay. Now, when you organize stuffs, when you organize data and you put them in a record or you put them in a table-like structure, it's called a file. Okay. Now, what is data science? Data science is an interdisciplinary field that uses specific methods, algorithms, and systems that extract insights and knowledge from data. Okay, those of us that want to delve into data science maybe later, of course, you would see that all these things are embedded, right? Now, data visualization, of course, it's you using graphical representation of data to facilitate understanding and communicate patterns and trend. Now you're looking at a dashboard, for example, that has gathered a lot of data, and this dashboard is now optimized in the sense that it is showing you something really interactive, something really more insightful at this point. Just one screen like this. Okay. Now you are seeing this my screen now as what, carrying a lot of data, right? Its information have been processed, and that's why it's having written formats. Now you are seeing it, you are reading it out, and you are getting knowledge from it. Of course, when you now see these things and you now understand what these concepts that are written on this page look like, you have gathered what? Insights. And when you gather insights, of course, you really derive deep understanding, right, from the data that you've been given. Do we understand? Now, data visualization is more or less like a graphical representation of these data sets that have been put into a comprehensive or structured form that you can just look at, and you already looking at it like this, you can say that, oh, I'm already getting something from this. Do we understand? So that's that for that. Okay. Now, the next thing on our agenda is big data. And from the name, big data, it's showing extremely large and complex data sets that require advanced method of processing and analyzing. As time goes on, we'll see these things. Okay. Then data wrangling is the process of cleaning, restructuring, and enriching raw data into a usable format for analysis. Don't worry, this slide will be shared with us. I think it has already been shared. If it has not been shared, I'll share it at the end of the class so we can go through it and probably ask questions as time goes on. All right. Now, something I want us to understand in this slide is data is the foundational element that drives analysis, decision making, and insights in various fields such as business, science, and what technology. Okay, so next up, we'll be talking about the importance of data. And from what we have talked about, of course, we know that data helps us in making informed decision, make us to know that, oh, this and this and this and this. As time goes on, of course, we're trying to build you to become professional data analysts. And as time goes on, looking at data, you can actually predict a lot of things, and from there, make decisions for your clients, for companies, and of course, that would even drive a lot of information, a lot of plans, a lot of futuristic work in the company. And you might even, you never can tell. Of course, that's your work. Solve problems and bring up what solutions to these problems that they have. And when you do that, of course, you'll be paid for that, right? And you can make this, help these organizations make insights, make good informed decisions that will drive the best and just nothing else but the best decisions. And that will definitely bring more opportunities to your clients. All right. Then the next one is to identify trends and patterns. Now, you are more or less like you're checking out for when you're done with your analysis. Most of the time, you bring out charts, you bring out plots, and with these charts and plots, you can actually identify trends and patterns that have happened over the years and use that to predict futuristic trends, or you can use that to predict plans for current trends. And of course, currently, you can just, from what has happened before in the past, predict what can happen later in the future or even now. Then it helps you improve operational efficiency. Then the next step, it provides a competitive advantage. Now let's go to understanding data types. There are two types of data, and the first one is what? Qualitative data, and the next one is what? Quantitative data. Now, for the qualitative data, we have the descriptive, non-numeric information that provides context and meaning, in the sense that we have names and categories, customer feedbacks, product descriptions, survey responses. In this point, we're having non-numerical information that gives you what? Context and meaning. Okay. Now, for the quantitative, rather, on the name quantitative, quantity, right? Quantitative data. It shows what? Numerical, measurable information that can be what? That can be what? Can anybody reply? Let me see if you're following.
That can be
Analyze
analyzed.
And then statistically, good, you're with me. It can be what? Analyzed statistically in terms of what? Age and revenue figures, sales numbers, performance metrics, time measurements, and so forth and so on. All right. So these are the two kinds of data we have. One is the qualitative, the second one is quantitative. From our understanding, basic understanding of these words, just forget all those big grammar. It is very simple. Quality and what? Quantity. All right. In quantity, we are talking about volume, we're talking about numbers, right? But in quality, we're talking about something that provides what? Meaning, something that is important. Do we get? All right. So these are the things you get in understanding what data types. Now let's go to the data sources and how data can be collected. We have primary data, which can be collected from original sources like surveys, experiment, field works, observations, right? Now, you are the first person that's collecting this data. You are the first person collecting what? This data. It has not existed before. All right. Now, when you send out Google Forms, surveys, and so on and so forth, of course, you get data from the these persons. Exactly, you're getting this data from these guys, and these guys are giving you what? Data. and you are storing it up from this data that you've gathered over time. Maybe after you've gathered like 50 persons in a class, you've sent questionnaires. For those of us that are in school, you send questionnaires out, and you're like, oh, you want to identify why these people do so and so activity, right? After you've gathered this data, you can put it together and what, bring out insights from those data, right? That's one. Then we have another section called the secondary data. At this point, you are gathering data from existing sources like reports, databases, published researches, and so on and so forth, right? Now, at this point in time, you are getting this data from something. You are getting this data from a point where you are not the first person to create this data. You are just going to, like, let's say there's a database that has been saved or a file that has been saved, and you're just going there to get it. You are going to a report. Let's say you are going to get, you are the nurse on duty, for example, and you're going to your nurse's station. You're going to get a case file of a client, right? That case file, you were not the one that put in those records, but you are using the case file as what, a point of contact to do whatsoever you want to do, right? To attend to that client, right? That is what we call secondary data. But primary data is that you're the one sitting with the client, you are asking this client questions, you are taking notes, and you are recording it, right? Good. So in primary data, you're the one getting this source, this information from the original source. But for secondary data, you are not the one getting this information firsthand. You are not getting it firsthand. It has always been there, or it has already been stored. You're just going there to gather the data and work on it to get more what insights from this data. Now, how can you collect this data? For the primary source, you can get it through questionnaires, like I said, interviews and observations. Then key terminologies you have to look out for is your data set, your data point, database, and data cleaning. So I'll give an assignment already. Everyone on this call would help me define what a data set is, what a data point is, what a database is, and what data cleaning is all about. Okay? Now let's go into the main of the day. What is data analysis? Now, data analysis is the process of examining, cleaning, transforming, and interpreting data to extract useful information and what, make informed decisions. Now, you're not just picking them one by one, and at the end of the day, all you are getting what, this data analyzed and extract using useful information and what, make informed decisions. If you cannot extract useful information from your data, and you cannot make useful what, informed decisions, then of course you've not made the aim of what you are doing, right? You've not gotten to the process where you've actually analyzed the data set. Do we understand? Now, this foundational skill transforms raw information into what, actionable what, insights that drive business success. With this skill that you have, you can actually drive business. You can even drive a business that is just starting into a big one, right? You can blow this business, you can blow their strategies, you can change anything you want to change just by what, gathering information and working on this information to what, provide what, two things. The first one is what, useful what, information being extracted from the data you've gathered, and at the end you're making what, informed decision. Are we good? Are we clear? Right, good. So now we're going to what the science of discovery is, which we actually call data analysis. Cover patterns, trends, and correlations. It combines statistical methods, computational techniques, and domain expertise to extract meaningful insight from raw information. All these things are just grammar, okay? We're just trying to let you understand that, oh, at the end of the day, you're getting raw information that you're going to what use to generate meaningful insights, right? Good. So I'll just move over because of our time. I want to rush us through this slide and at the same time try as much as possible for us to understand what we'll be talking about today. So now the data analytics process. Is anybody have any question at this point? Anyone with a question?
No, sir.
Does anyone have a question? All right. Please, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Okay. At the end of the class, we'll go back to those questions. All right. Write them down. Write them down. Write them down. We'll answer them at the end of the class. All right. Success in data analytics follows a structured approach. A structured approach. It takes these 5 steps. All right. And these steps build upon the previous one, meaning that it creates a comprehensive framework for what discovery and decision making. The first thing in the data analytics process or the data analytics cycle is what? Data collection. Of course, you cannot tell me you want to analyze what you don't have. It's like going to the market, you want to buy something from the market, and you go to the market, nobody's in the market. Can you get anything from there? No, definitely. So you have to gather your data, and it involves gathering relevant information from various sources, including what? Databases, APIs, and external data sets. Okay, these data have to be collected from either the primary source or what? The secondary source, and they have to be collated. All right. Now, the next step is what? Data cleaning. Data cleaning. Okay, data cleaning. All right. Now, this is where most of the work comes in. In fact, you spend 80%, 70 to 80% of your time, even at some point, 90% understanding and cleaning your data. All right. Now, at this point, it is where you remove inconsistencies. Inconsistencies there means errors, things that are making this data not to be quality. Okay. Now, handling missing values and ensuring data quality and what? Reliability. Now, you're looking at your data, so many errors here and there, nulls, so many empty spaces, and you're trying to clean this data to make it sure that you are generating what? Insights from it. You can have so many duplicates, right? You can have so many empty sheets, empty cells in your data set. And at this point, when you use those empty data and empty cells in your data set, you use those missing values in your data set, you might not get a good insight at the end. So at the end of the day, you'll be getting a wrong information or something that's going to spoil your data at the end. And of course, when the data is even wrong, of course, the outcome is going to be a wrong one, right? So that is that. If you use the wrong formula and you miss the formula, no matter how you calculate and solve and solve and solve, you end up getting the wrong value, the wrong answer. Okay, just the same way, if you get the wrong values and you are calculating with it, no matter how you solve, you will definitely get the wrong answers, right? So the process of getting your data cleaned is removing inconsistencies, handling missing values, and probably replacing or removing them. And at the end of the day, you are ensuring your data quality and reliability. All these things have to be intact, your quality and your reliability. The next step is analysis. This point, you're analyzing or applying statistical methods and algorithms to cover patterns and test hypotheses. All right. At this point, you are now using all the methods that are necessary, that are needed for you to get your insights at the end of your analysis. Okay. Then after you're done with your analysis, of course, the next thing you need to do is to visualize. You have to visualize, and at this point, it means you are creating compelling charts, dashboards to communicate your findings effectively. Don't worry, just hold on. At the end of your class or the end of your course, you will have your data definitely learn how to create compelling charts and dashboards that are not just dashboards or charts, but they are what interactive. They are action driven. As charts, I was able to get this out of my dashboard, and anybody looking at it and they're like, wow, this is so wonderful. And they can actually get insights from what your charts and from your dashboard. Please, if your mic is on mute, please mute it so we don't get interruptions in the class. Okay. Then the last one is what? Decision making. Of course, after going through these four steps, the next thing you should do is what? Make decisions. Now, at this point, you are translating all the insights you've gathered, you've collected your data, you've cleaned, you've analyzed, you've visualized. What's the next thing? I cannot just visualize and not make or take a step, right? At this point, you are taking the right step in the right direction. And at this point, you are translating insight into what? Actionable recommendations and strategic what? Initiatives. At this point, you are making steps, you are making actionable insights that you can use to change the narrative. A company has been suffering over the years, and they're trying to like, oh, let's get our business to thrive. Let's get our this to do this. Let's drive more sales. Let's drive more actionable insights. Of course, after your visualization, your analysis, and so on and so forth, you should be able to make decisions from that. Okay. Now let's go to the four types of data analytics. Now, each type serves a unique purpose in the analytical journey for understanding what happened to predicting what should happen next. We have four types. We have four types. And at this point, the first one is descriptive analytics. The first question you should ask yourself is, or what descriptive analysis asks you is, what happened? What has happened over time? Right? It summarizes what? Historical data to understand past performances. Of course, it's asking you what happened, meaning it's asking you what happened in the past, right? Now, you are getting all the things that has happened in the past, and you are getting the answer to your question, which is what. Okay. Most times you have two questions that there's so many questions you ask: what, why, how, when, where. But these are the main things that this data analytics focuses on. The four types. It focuses on one. The first one is what? Descriptive analytics, and it asks you a question of what happens, right? And it uses dashboards, reports, key performance indicators to provide baseline understanding of what happened, okay, in the past. The next one is what? Diagnostic. Of course, you gather questions. It's more or less like you're gathering questions from what has happened in the past. And of course, if you gather what has happened in the past, what's the next thing you should ask yourself? Why? Right? If it has happened in the past, why did it happen? Right? That is what diagnostic analytics entails, or that is what it's telling you or is asking. Now, it investigates the root cause behind the trends and patterns and employs drill down analysis and correlation studies to explain the outcome. All right. Now, you are looking at what has happened in the past and trying to understand why it happened. Okay. Diagnostic tells you why it happened. Now, the next one is the predictive. Okay, predictive tells you what will happen. Of course, from the name, you predict what will happen in the future, right? Like a forecast of futuristic trends. And at this point, you make use of machine learning models and statistical techniques to what? Predict your futuristic outcomes, right? The next one is what? Prescriptive. Okay, you've gathered what has happened, you have known why it has happened. You now ask yourself why or what will happen in the future. And the next thing you should ask yourself is, what should we do? Right? Now, you recommend specific actions to optimize your outcomes. At this point, you can use advanced algorithms to suggest the best course of action and achieving your goals. Now we have different career roles, and the first one is what? The data analyst. Of course, before you join this course, you would have thought of what are the core courses I want to take. You could have thought of Digital marketing, you could have thought of UI UX, could have thought of something else, but you chose data analytics. Why? Right? Now, there are different career roles. Of course, you would have seen the benefits of the data analytics course and you would want to delve into it. Right? Now, the data analytics course interprets data, creates reports and visualizations to support decision making with actionable what insights. Now we have the business intelligence analyst. What do they do? They identify business needs and solutions through data analysis and process improvement initiatives. Okay. The next is the data scientists. And of course, what do? They use advanced analytics and machine learning to extract insights and build predictive models for strategic decisions. I think, yes, was it yesterday we had that call? Yes. And someone asked a question about data science and data analysis. And I think Boss did justice to that. So we can see the difference between the data analyst and the data scientist, right? Now, the next one is the data engineer. They build, design, and maintain data pipelines and architecture to ensure data quality what and accessibility. All right. So, right, they have others that like the database administration agents, machine learning engineers, and so on and so forth. Now, let's go to the next, which talks about the essential tools and terminologies that you would find in your data analytics journey. Now, we have programming languages like the Python, R, SQL, and of course, we can see these tools. They are not tools that you play with. As a data analyst, you must have. You can definitely, at some point, of course, definitely get these um, tools at your fingertips to be able to perform your data analytics tasks. Now, the next ones we have are the visualization platforms. Of course, some of these other ones do these other things, but there are some that are specialists in this job. Okay. And for the visualization platforms, we have the Tableau, we have the Power BI, and we have Seaborn or Maths Plot Lab or Lib. We have the cloud platforms like the AWS, we have the Google Cloud, you have the others, and we have specialized tools like the Excel, the Egyptian notebook, and the others. All right, let's run. So key skills every data analyst needs. We have the statistical knowledge, and this ensures you understand probability, hypothesis testing, retrogression analysis, statistical significance, and this foundation enables proper interpretation of your results and validation of your findings. Okay, as time goes on, you will learn these tools. Okay, we will learn these things. These skills are things that you generate or you learn on a daily basis. You just cannot learn it at once. Okay, you cannot learn it at once. Even when you went to school, you learned them over time. You learned them at one point or the other. You did not just become a nurse, you did not just become an engineer, you did not just become a teacher, you did not just become whatever in one day. It took you time, right? So you learn this statistical knowledge, programming skills, critical thinking, communication, data visualization, and business acumen over time. All right. Now, the next one, like we said, the programming skills, proficiency in language like Python, SQL for data manipulation, analysis, automation of repetitive what task. We have data visualization. At this point, you create compelling charts, dashboards, and infographics that effectively communicate complex insights into diverse audiences. What we are saying is it makes all these big grammar that we're talking about to become what simple and small for us to what comprehend. Now, critical thinking at this point is questioning assumptions, identifying biases, and approaching problems systematically with so much curiosity. And you're thinking, okay, what should I do? What is this thing telling me? What am I trying to get from this? Okay, at this point, you are juggling your mind to get the right insight. Okay, next is your business acumen, which means understanding the industry context, organizational goals, and translating technical findings into actionable business recommendations. Communication, which involves you presenting complex findings clearly to stakeholders, clients, writing comprehensive reports, and what collaborating effectively across your teams. So these are the six skills that you need to develop as time goes on. All right. So next up, how can we apply our data analytics knowledge, or where can we apply them? Can apply it in the healthcare. Nurses, of course, can be data analysts. Anyone in the health sector can use this skill to drive actionable what results. Okay, you can use it. Now let me even make us understand. Okay, you as a human being, you're already a data analyst because your mind has gathered a lot of information, processed, and giving you what insights that you can make decisions from, right? So you can go and post on your LinkedIn today and say, yes, I am a mind digital analyst. I've given you the permission, okay? Nobody's going to arrest you. Nobody's going to arrest you. You can post that on your LinkedIn and say, yes, I am a mind digital analyst. You can tell your friend, do you know who I am? Do you know what I am? I am a mind digital analyst. Of course, everyone is a digital what? Or a data analyst rather. Beg your pardon, a data analyst. All right. So you can use these skills to predict patient outcomes and treatment effectiveness. You can optimize hospital resource allocation, drug discovery, and clinical trials analysis. You can help solve problems in the financial sector too. You can help in the retail and e-commerce. You can help in marketing. You can help in what? Transportation. You can help in manufacturing. Next up are the common challenges and pitfalls. Of course, everything that has an advantage has a disadvantage, right? Now, in data analytics, you have issues like data quality. At this point, it's what we call the garbage in, garbage out structure. Because in the sense that you would definitely find incomplete, inconsistent, or biased data leading to unreliable conclusion. And this is why you need to clean your data. All right, this is why you need to analyze your data properly so you don't have these inconsistencies, incomplete or biased data. All right, now you always have to okay, of course, you can see, always invest time in data validity and what? Cleaning. So for you to analyze, of course, you should be ready to what? Clean your data and ensure your data source or your data itself is what? Valid. All right. Now, analysis paralysis is looking like a nursing terminology, right? Analysis paralysis, getting lost in endless exploration without clear objective, defining specific questions and success criteria before diving or moving into the data. Now, looking at your data set, you can get confused. Yeah, you can get to question yourself at some point. What is this data telling me? What am I supposed to do from this data? What am I supposed to get from this data? Hmm? So at that point, every data analyst gets to the point in their life where they actually ask themselves questions like this, right? The next one is correlation versus causation. Now, mistaking statistical relationships for cause and effect. Remember that correlation doesn't imply causation. Additional validation is essential. Okay. Now I'll run through because we are running out of time and I want us to finish in time. We just have 1 hour 30 minutes. Now the next one is confirmation bias, which is looking out for data that supports preconceived notions rather than objective analysis. At this point, you're looking out for data that actually gives you this confirmation, right? Then over fitting models. At this point, we have creating over complex models that perform well on training data, but poorly on new data. Okay, then the next one is poor communication, which means failing to translate technical findings into language stakeholders can understand and act on. At some point, of course, that is even one of the reasons why we are trying to teach you here in Vector Hub, so you can learn to communicate properly, and you would be more of confident in yourself and in what you are presenting to your stakeholders. You can tell me for a fact that if you don't have mentorship, most of the time you get lost. But once you have mentorship, you have people that have gone through these things and they're carrying your hands across the board. Definitely you'll be able to have this confidence. Of course, at some point you still feel down, but these your mentors will help you gather the momentum, gather the drive, the motivation you need. Over time, after you've gathered these skills, you will be able to present them very well, communicate them very well, and your stakeholders would understand and act on them. Okay. Now, these are the career opportunities. Every data analyst or every data analyst finds themselves in a place where they ask themselves, what does this have to, of course, when you're starting the journey, of course, you have to ask yourself, for me? I cannot just run into this market and not get anything from it, right? Now we can see that at a point of 22%, right, there is a growth rate of opportunities for data analysts, and it will increase over time till 2030 and even beyond board. Now, you will say, with the advent of AI tools, what is my fate? What is this for me? What does it hold for me? Trust me, AI tools cannot do what exactly you can do, because you are more intelligent, yeah? You have these skills in you, and you can present these things, you can present it out more than the way, of course, AI tools can actually present some of these things, but they don't have the way they cannot present it the way a human being will present it. I don't know if you get me. And that is the more reason why you need to develop yourself to work with these AI tools to become more efficient in your job. All right. We can see that the starting salary for an entry level data analyst in the UK market is around 45k euros, and for the senior level, you have 75k um, euros for advanced. All right. Over time, we'll let you understand how you can get jobs. If you go on LinkedIn now, let me even bust your head. Let me bust your head, right? I want to challenge you now. For those of us that have our phones with us, you can minimize your tab and go on LinkedIn. Just go under your search bar and type data analyst job. You would see over 13,000 jobs currently as we speak on LinkedIn. So you see that how many of us are on this call? No matter how many persons we train, trust me, you would have a vast opportunity opening its arms. That's just LinkedIn alone. You can try and see if I'm joking. You would see over 13,000 job applications in on LinkedIn, just waiting for you like this to become a professional or an intermediate data analyst. There are so many levels of jobs waiting for all data analysts around the world. And of course, that's just one tool already. Just LinkedIn. If you check other tools and search for jobs, you will see that in fact, the list is endless. The list is endless. So you and I have opportunities waiting for us out there on a daily basis to harness these opportunities, right? We have so many opportunities waiting for us. Now, what are the career paths like? We have the data analyst, we have the business analyst, we have the data scientist, we have the data engineer, we have the analytics manager. We already talked about these things. Now, what are the next steps you need to take? You want to hop in, right? I know you can't wait to become a data analyst. All of us on the year money, our head on the beat, on the swell. We want to become a data analyst. Trust me, calm down, calm down, calm down. Don't rush. You see, this data analyst word is more or less like the sky. It is big and open. Anyone can fly and make money from it. Okay. Now, the first thing you need to do is to learn the fundamentals. And once you've learned the fundamentals, this course is giving you the fundamentals so you can stand strong. Then you pick your tools. You pick your tools. You pick your tools. And these tools will help you what in your analysis and also help you what bring out your desired results in the end. Then the next thing you need to do is to practice with real data, work on the projects, and of course, the next thing after practicing with real data, you build your portfolio. You can create your own visualizations, create a portfolio, and when you need to apply for jobs, don't worry, as time goes on, we'll teach you how to do those things. And when someone is actually asking for you to send in your jobs and stuff, you can send them your portfolio that they will go through, and the next thing they will do is see how good you've optimized this your tools that you've been given over time, and of course they'll see your expertise and give you the job. Then the next thing you need to do is to network and apply. Now join data analytics communities, attend workshops like the one you're doing now, and start applying for entry roles, entry level positions, or internships. Okay. Now remember, data analytics is a journey, not a destination. Stay curious, keep learning. Don't be afraid to ask questions. The field evolves rapidly, but the fundamental principles of turning data into insight remains what constant. Don't be scared. The data analytics journey was really, really scary for me. But when I delved into the journey, I noticed that it was really, really, really fun. Trust me. When we started classes at first, there's every point in our class line that we actually looked at this whole thing and we were like, why I even study this course safe? Why I even start this thing safe? But trust me, over time, you gain mastery. And because you gain mastery from continuous learning and staying curious and not being afraid to ask questions, of course, you would develop what? The strength, you will develop the dexterity in that field. And of course, the next thing you would do is what? Fly with it, right? So that brings us to the end of our slide. And if you have questions at this point, you could ask. You could ask. You could ask. So I don't know if we have questions. Please feel free to ask your questions. Okay. Okay, blessing. I can see your hands up. Go ahead.
Good evening. Sorry, please, I came in
Good
late.
evening.
Can you quickly run through what I came in when you were talking about the four types of data analysis. So can you help me run through what you started with? Sorry.
Okay. The four types.
I that's why I like that's when I came in the four types, but
Oh,
yes. And are we
oh,
going to get these
okay.
materials after the class?
Sure. Sure. You will get them
Oh,
after you get this material after the class. It's for your consumption. It's for you to study. It's for you to, according to what the Holy Book will say, study to what? Show yourself approved, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the words of truth, right? So for you to be a wonderful data analyst, trust me, you have to study. Okay. So let me just run through what I've been talking before. I said from the beginning, data is found everywhere in the world, and we use this data to generate what? Actionable insights. Okay. And it's more of gaining skills. This skill that you're learning from this course would help you to transform information or transform data that you've gathered to what? Information that can provide actionable insights and what? Provide good decisions, right? Now, the next thing we talked about were the concepts of data, and we ran through all these concepts, and we said the importance of data. we talked about understanding your data, and we talked about the two types of data. We said we have the qualitative and the quantitative. From the name qualitative, we can see that it's talking about quality, right? And quantitative, we're talking about quantity, measurable, right? Then we talked about the sources, which are the primary and the secondary sources. And we talked about the primary sources as the original source where you get your data. The secondary is more or less like an already existing source where you get your data. And we talked about data analysis as the process of cleaning, examining, transforming, and interpreting data to extract useful information and make informed decisions. Okay. Then we talked about the 5 processes of data analytics, which talks about the data collection, gathering your data cleaning, which involves removing consistencies and what handling missing values, removing them, and ensuring you have a good quality data and your data is what reliable. Now, after your analysis is your visualization, and in the end, you make decisions from your visualizations and analysis. And we said it has 4 stages, which talks about the descriptive, which talks about what happened, diagnostic, which is saying why did it happen, predictive, which says what will happen in the future. Then prescriptive, which talks about what should we do, right? Then we talked about the career roles. I think this is where you joined us, right? Was this where you joined us? Is she there with me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. The person asking the question, was this where you met us? Hello? She's still on this call. I think she's gone. Okay,
I think
so I
we
think
want
that's
to
just, oh yeah, she left the call. Probably network issues. So these are mainly everything we have to talk about today. And I want to thank everyone for coming, everyone for joining. I hope you've taken screenshots of this class already. You've taken screenshot of this class already, and you are going to definitely post what you've learned from the class on your LinkedIn. All right, I think I've answered her question. Cool free. Sorry if I spoil your name. I'm very sorry. Ayadu, your hand is up. So please go ahead with your question. Are you here?
In the diagnostic, yes, in the diagnostic analysis, you mentioned that it employs a drill down analysis. So I want to find out what is drill down
I can't hear you, sir. It's like you're far from your phone.
analysis. Okay.
Did
In the
anybody get him?
diagnostic analysis,
Okay.
hello, in the diagnostic
Yeah, I can hear
analysis,
you.
you made mention that it employs drill down analysis. So I want to find out what is drill down analysis.
Sorry, are you using an earpod or an earpiece or something? I'm not hearing you
Hello?
clearly. Can you type the question in the chat box? I can't
Okay,
hear you at all.
no problem. Let me type the question.
I think it's okay now.
I think it's
The
clearer
network is
now. Go
okay.
ahead.
Okay, I
Go
want to
ahead. Go
find
ahead. I
out
can hear you clearly now.
what do you mean by drill
It's
down
clearer now.
analysis?
Okay.
In the diagnostic analysis, you made mention of drill down analysis. So, what is drill down analysis?
Okay. Okay, all right. So in the process of diagnostic, when you say something is drilling down, it means you are starting from like what we said here. Okay, we're saying it investigates the roots cause, right? Roots cause behind trends and patterns, right? Now, what are we what analysis? So Now, at this point, it's more or less like breaking down high level data that are complex, all right, into a final one. Okay, it's more or less like breaking down things from the name, drill down. It's just a complex term that is actually simple. Don't worry, it's big grammar. Don't worry. It's more or less like you have big data, you have so much on your tables, rows, columns, but you're just trying to make it come down, of course, into what? Charts. Okay, now you've gathered so many data sets and you have created a pivot table, you've created a chart. Now, that big table that you're seeing, you just created something, one small tool, like one screen, that maybe it even consists of 10,000 records. And now you're just seeing one small box that contains one chart. I don't know if you understand. And you're now looking at what, of course, for something to have happened in the past, because we are saying diagnostic, for something to have happened in the past, why did it happen? That's what we are asking. So you've already drilled down your analysis that you've made in the past. It has happened in the past. Of course, you're looking at the chart. It has happened for those of us that understand charts. You can see that these things have happened in the past, and because it has happened in the past, you are looking at the past patterns, you're looking at the past trends, and you're now trying to understand what is happening. So a drill down analysis is more or less like breaking down high level data into a small, finer, more specific parts that or pattern that you can actually understand. Do you understand? Is it clear? Is it here?
Yes, please.
Ayadu,
Books.
Understand now.
what? Do you understand now?
That's it. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Next person on my list is Khadija. Khadija, please go ahead with your question.
Oh, sir, well done. So I want to ask that if I give like an unnecessary question, but I don't understand the concept of data analytics and data analysis, like the difference between them. Like when you use the words, I don't even know the difference. Can you please translate on it?
Okay. If I heard you correctly, sorry, I didn't even know I was muted. I was talking already. Don't worry, it's not really a big deal. All right, all right. For data analytics, it's a broad field. All right, and you make decisions. It's a subset. Like it just more or less like it involves specific processes. All right, involves specific processes in the sense that you are now in analysis, you are now doing insights. But data analytics is more or less like a broad term. It's just like we have in mathematics, for example, we have subtopics under mathematics. Mathematics is a big, broad umbrella, but we have algebra under mathematics, right? In data analytics, you carry out data analysis. I don't know if you understand me. Is it clear? So don't be confused. Okay? Don't be confused. It's just, what should I call it now? Should I call it a phrase? All right. It's just a phrase that can confuse somebody. Don't really think of it. It's not really a big deal. Hmm? All right. My question is, okay, yes, it will be available. It's even on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube. Yes. And the recording of this class would also be provided, as well as the video, the recording of this class, the slides that have been used in this class. Everything will be shared on the platform. So don't worry, don't be scared. Any other question? Khadija, did I do justice to your question, or you're still confused? Khadija, can you hear me?
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, good, good, good. I'm having another Khadija. Khadija too. Please ask your
Yes,
question.
sir.
Good
Good
evening.
afternoon, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good
So
evening.
my question is, the dashboard, the analysis of data thereabout. So for qualitative data like observation, those survey, like unlike the fact that unlike some other research work that you send Google form out, you get numbers from it. For qualitative data, whereby you are looking at the perception of the patient, the reaction of the patient to some things, or maybe that's what your research work is all about. Are we going to analyze that kind of? Can we analyze that kind of data, create dashboards and the like from it? Like that's my question. Was that audible, sir?
Sure. I got your question. If I got you correctly, it's more or less like you're asking if the data sets that you are getting, you can generate insight from those data you are gathering, right?
Yes, yes. But not quantitative data, but qualitative data and create
Yes.
dashboards on it.
Yes, of course, you can. You can. Now look at WHO as a body. What do they do with data?
Okay.
They gather data from different data sources, right? And
Yes, sir.
from this data they've gathered, they make decisions. And if in fact, these are the things that drive decision making process. And in fact, policies that you see, you see them bringing out different policies, and they are saying over time, if you drink water like this, you will come out like this. If you don't do it like this, you will come out like this. If you do this like this, you will get this, right?
Yes,
These
sir.
data are not quantitative, they are qualitative. Isn't that what you asked?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They've been gathered over time. And once the data sets have been gathered over time, they use them to, of course, it's you trying to understand, like, from just look at this. Look at this.
Okay.
Let's go back to the notes. It's very, very simple. Don't be scared. Calm down. Just breathe. Breathe in, breathe. Let's go to where that part of the note talks about the different. Where's that part of the note again? I'm coming. Just hold on a second. Let me find it. Now look at this part. You are looking at what has happened.
Sir, I can't
At
see
this
your screen.
point, oh, I'm coming. Hold on. Let me share.
No, the screen is
Sorry.
showing.
Sorry about
No, you are
that.
Okay, I'm
showing
seeing it
already.
It's
now.
showing. I think it's your network.
No.
Your
I can
network.
see it
It's your
now.
network.
I can see it now.
Oh, good. Now, when you look at this, you are looking at what has happened over time, right? And you're asking yourself, why did it happen? It must not be qualitative most of the time, quantitative rather, meaning it must not have values, figures, and so on and so forth all the time. But you are now looking at what has happened in the past, and you are diagnosing why it happened. It's like going to church and you are asking yourself, why am I even going to church safe? Why did I buy? Why am I even buying? Why am I even going to the market? What am I going to do in the market? Why? I went to the market yesterday. Why? Okay, what will happen if I now go to the market? Okay, what should I do? Do you understand? They've looked at this record, for example. Okay, now this person has why? Okay, now good. If you're a nurse, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. When you are taking you are chatting and you are like trying to get data from your clients, at the end of the day, what are you trying to do? You're trying to see how you can use those information you are getting from your clients to what? See how you can improve the health of that client. It's as simple as that. Good, right? Now, these things you are gathering, most of them are not quantitative. Quantitative, yes, they are qualitative data. Imagine asking someone past medical history, past surgical. Why are you asking somebody about the past surgical history? Someone is booking you are booking a client, and the client is probably wanting to deliver a child, and you are asking, have you had cesarean section before in the past? Why are you asking the woman if she has had cesarean section in the past? It's not because you want to bring out insight. You see why I said you on your own, you're already a data analyst. That is why I said go and post it on your LinkedIn. Go, you don't understand. After this call, go to your LinkedIn, go and brag small. That you're a mind analyst. Oh God. Yes. Because in as much as you can book a client, you can, from those things that you've recorded, predict actionable insight and say, oh, this person should not be allowed to give birth just like that. Because of the previous whatevers, because of this, because of that, because of this, you are now saying, oh, I have seen from the past that this and this and this and this happened, and this and this and this happened because of so and so and so and so. And because it has happened, what should we do next? Is it clearer now?
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you so much for that question. Do we have any other person asking a question? Have I done justice to your question?
Yes, sir. You have.
Khadija 1 and Khadija 2, thumbs up for you. Next up, who am I having on my queue? Who's raising his or her hand? Who else is raising his or her hand up? Let me see. Favor. Are you raising your hand up? Favor Mwalfa.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I spelled your name. I'm very sorry. Khadija, you can put your hand down unless you have another question.
Yes.
Adeyemi, Khadija. If you have another question, you can leave your hand, but if you know you don't have another question, you can put your hand down. All right, Favor, go ahead, please. Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. Um, I was a bit confused concerning the cleaning and the data cleaning, the process of data analysis. That's the cleaning aspect and the analysis aspect. Now it's quite there is a very big a discrepancy between two of them, but I'm not really convinced between the difference of the difference between the data cleaning and the data analysis. That's the first question. Secondly, we talked about correlation, regression analysis, and statistical significance. Are you going to teach us data in the class
Yes,
in the most of the classes, or should we
yes.
learn it on our
No,
own?
no, 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 no. Just like I said, just breathe. Everything you need is in this course, right? Is in this course. Though you might not get most
Okay.
of these things in the basic course, okay? As time goes on, we'll start talking about the advanced. I think our boss talked about it yesterday, right? And I said some of these skills are gotten over time. You did not just graduate from KG1 to SS1. You moved from KG1 to KG2. It's a gradual process. We'll walk you each step of the way. Those tools that you're talking about, all the tools you can think of in this life, we'll walk you through them. In as much as they are part of this course, you have paid for it and you will get it. Okay? It's just step by step. From the next class, we'll walk you through Excel and you see what Excel is all about, how you can navigate through Excel, and so on and so forth. We start teaching you the analytics in depth from the next class, like small. Starts by teaching you how you can clean data, analyze data, visualize, and also make decisions from your. Of course, after you visualize, the next thing is you're already thinking of your what decisions, right? So next up is I think you asked a question between data cleaning and analysis, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, data cleaning is very simple. It's very simple. You just got a raw data and you are looking at this data set and you're like, you are seeing spaces, you are seeing missing values, you are seeing duplicated values. Ahmed bought 22 bars of yam yesterday at 5 o'clock. The next cell is also telling you Ahmed bought 2 bars of yam yesterday, like at 5 o'clock. Why are we having this day? Like they are just repeating. Then at some point, you are seeing Ahmed bought dash number of yams. You already know it's yam, but you don't know how many he bought. Empty. Like you are seeing empty spaces here and there. Even sometimes you yourself, you might be filling a form and network will just log you out. You go and restart again. Automatically, maybe the form saved and sent to their database, and you yourself, you don't even know. You filled it again. Something happened. Maybe your mommy called you. Oh, mommy, don't spoil my network. It's saved again and sent. You sent another one. Network, Glow Network, for example, decided to just go off. Then village people now came from nowhere. Your phone went off. You finally came back and you filled the form, and finally you sent the correct one. If you check, you see that there are some inconsistencies, missing values, and so on. So in the process of data cleaning, you are removing those extra duplicated values that are not significant to that data, that database. The first one, maybe just putting your name and maybe your email, finish. The second one, your name, your email, the time you bought it. The next one, you filled in everything. So the first three, you can see that they are wrong. So you have to remove those excesses, like those ones that are duplicated. It's carrying the same name, but some values are missing, right? It's carrying the same number, but some values are missing. You are removing those things, removing inconsistencies, removing missing values. This is data cleaning. Then at the point where you start using some things like pivots, you're now bringing charts, you're now bringing whatever, and so on and so forth. Of course, you're now analyzing using your analytic tools. I don't know if you understand. Then after your data is now clean, of course, the next thing to do is what? Analysis. You're now bringing out pie charts, bar charts, histograms, plots, whatever you want to call it, just call it, name it. Then at the end of the day, you are now bringing forth a page where you can just bring all those things you've created because you've generated the insights you want to generate, and you're now making it visible. You are now making everybody see these dashboards, and you're like, oh wow, this is wonderful, right? Hold on a second, let me show you something I did. I don't know if I still have them here. I'll show us before we leave this class. I'll show us before we leave this class. But you would see where I did something and I created a dashboard, and it showed me what I needed to see. And at the end of the day, it showed me all I needed to see at the end. It was just so interactive. I'll bring it up before the end of the class. I just wanted to see how we can. I don't want to waste our time. Okay, I'll show you before the end of the class so you understand better. Okay. Next up. Did I answer your question, please? Is it clear
Yes,
now?
sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
I'll show you my dashboard before I leave this class. Next person, please. I think Temi Olua. Temi Olua, please go ahead with your question.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Um, Sorry, my network was tripping when you were mentioning the assignment. So I don't know if you can just go over the assignment you gave. You were saying we should
Oh yeah,
define some.
I'll drop the questions. I'll drop the question. This was it. I said we should define these key terminologies here. These ones. Data set,
Oh,
data point, database, data cleaning. Yes. All of it. Just take a screenshot.
all right,
Take a
sir. Thank
screenshot. Take a screenshot.
you. That's all. Thank you, sir.
All right. The next person on the list is Enoch. Good evening. Please
Good
go ahead
evening,
with your
sir.
question. Good evening, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir, my question is about the journey we are just taking now.
Yeah.
Concerning the data analysis, and
Yeah.
the student handbook that was dropped is about Excel. So I just want to know if it is only Excel we are going to learn in this basic. Then also, since we are having only 1 month and the class is 2 times a week, is it not possible to extend the class for at least 2 hours per day? Thank you. That's my question.
Okay, thank you for that question. Yes. The class is basic, right? Yeah. But trust me, we are not just talking about Excel, we'll talk about Power BI. All right. We will not be able to, Excel is a very big tool, it's a large tool, it has a lot of functions. Just look at it, for example. You can see only the home button has a lot. Now you are going to insert, see what's there, draw, see what's there, page layout, see what's there, and so on and so forth, even up to the power pivot. though that one is an extra point that we'll talk about in your data. Look at all the things that apply. So going to understand all these things, all these tools here, you would definitely get confused if you don't take it a step at a time, right? So take you through, walk you through the Excel basics, walk you through some intermediate stuffs in Excel, and even creating this dashboard. Yes, this dashboard that you're seeing, this one, you will create it. Trust me, you'll be able to create it. You can.
Okay.
Now let's look at something. If I click on this now, it will definitely respond. It will definitely respond because it's interactive. So I don't mind my system. My system is hanging. Are you seeing now that it's changing, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
It's interactive. It's very, very interactive. So that's just that for that. We'll teach you how to make things like this for the end of the course. Okay. If I click on this now, it's interactive. You can see that the values are changing. It's
Yeah.
changing. Good. So we'll teach you how to create this. What I'm clicking on is my slicer, and of course, it will do the job, do justice to all I needed to do justice to, and we're good. So this is just a basic dashboard. I don't want you to think it's and this was done on Excel. Excel, oh. I did not use Power BI. It's Excel. So you'll be taught how to do this, and at the end of the program, you'll be glad you joined Vector Hub. Trust me, just sit back and relax and see the magic we are going to do. So, sir, we'll take you through the courses, and for the timing, okay, don't be scared. The timing is not a problem. At some point, the classes will extend, okay, depending on what we want to explain. Yes, depending on what we want to explain. But for the now, you just have 1 hour, 30 minutes, and that's why I'm trying to rush so that we can finish. And I'm glad everybody's understanding where we are coming from and where we are going. So don't be scared, okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Any other question? Khadija, you have a question? Khadija Atanda, sorry. Oh, Chin.
Atonda.
Sorry, Atanda. Well, I'm seeing Atanda here. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Atonda.
Wait, this is
So my
this
question.
is Khadija 3.
No,
No,
no. So
no.
Okay. I was scared. All right, go
so
ahead.
my question is looking at your own Excel, it's not looking like my own on my computer here. So
Okay.
what exact will I say brand
What version?
or like what version of Excel are we to download another version of Excel in order to join the class, or like,
You
because
can
the
use
way
any
your
version of
Excel is
Excel.
showing, huh?
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The way your own Excel is showing on your screen right now, that's not the way my own is showing. Like, I can't see. There was some icons on your insert that were not on mine, and on the data,
This
yes, there
one.
were some icons. Yeah?
You mean this area? Is it this area you're talking about?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
like, yes, these icons on your own
Okay.
Excel is not on mine. So are we
Okay.
to
I think
download?
you're using a limited version. That's why.
Okay.
You can choose to buy a software, a maybe Microsoft Office 360, or you can get Microsoft Office from 16, 17 and above. Okay, I think this
Microsoft
my own.
Office 17 and
Yes, 16, 2016, 2017, anyone or above. From 2016, 2017 and above, you can use. As for me, I think this one is 2016 or 2017 there, but I can't remember. But yes, that's it. You can even use the
okay.
web version. You can even use the web version. Okay,
Sir.
you can use the web version. That one is not so hard to use. When they are introducing you to the Excel basics, your tutor will take you through these things. Okay, so don't be scared. Don't worry. Whether you have the old version, you have the recent version, don't be scared. In as much as you can do some certain things, some of them some icons are embedded. So what they did is they just spaced it out. Yeah, they stretched it out so you could see. in my own current version, they spread it out so you could see a lot of icons. But it's the same thing, okay? The same thing. Excel is Excel anywhere, anytime, any day in the world.
Thank
All
you, sir.
right. You're welcome. Any other question before we wrap up? Please ask your questions.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes. I wanted
Hello, I can't hear you
to
anymore.
clarify about the submission of the assignment
Okay.
and attendance. I know it has been talked about during the orientation.
Sorry, I didn't get you. Marking the.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead, please.
Yes. So as I wanted to clarify about the submission of the assignment and
Okay.
keeping of the attendance.
No, attendance.
It
For
was
your
mentioned
attendance.
in the orientation, but I was not able to.
Okay, for your attendance, right? For your
Yes.
attendance, please do well to take a screenshot of this class. We've said that before. All right. Take a screenshot of this class, and at least one or two screenshots is not bad. You can take screenshots and post on your LinkedIn, post on your status on WhatsApp, and tag the admin. There's one admin number, one number, Vector Hub, the Nigerian number, not the UK number. Okay, one Vector Hub number like that is one of the admins. Tag that number, save that number, tag the number on your WhatsApp, okay, and post on LinkedIn. Tag Nonsa. Oh, your account is restricted. I'm sorry, you have to create another account or report to LinkedIn to making sure that that issue is rectified. Then tag Vector Hub. Tag, you can tag me on LinkedIn. I'll drop my LinkedIn link, so you can tag. If you like, you can tag me if you like, but make sure you tag Vector Hub. You can tag Nonsa, and that's it. Do you get?
Yes.
Do you get?
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Please mute. Please mute. All right. Any other question? Okay, I saw some question in the comments. Um. Okay. Good evening. Can you clarify the attendance? Now, I've already talked about. Okay, that's what you just asked. I've talked about that. Please make sure you take screenshots of this class. The next question is Excel part of business analytics? Of course, Excel is a basic tool. So whether you like it or not, you must go through Excel. So many, even banks make use of Excel too, right? So I think that's all from. You will not see my face today. You will not see my face today. Don't worry. I'm the place where I'm at work currently, so you might not see my face today. I'll show you my face as time goes on. Okay, yes, you've seen my face, but you don't know that's me. Don't worry. I'll reveal myself as time goes on. Let me turn to what do they call this thing now? Sha, if I show you my face now, you don't like showing ourselves. So show ourselves for the latter dates. I think that's for that. Who asked the question again? Temi Olua. Please ask your question. Don't
Oh,
worry, I'll show you my
sorry.
face later on. Not my face with politics. Go ahead.
Okay. He asked about submission of your assignment and you did not reply about that one. So how do we submit the assignment?
Yes, I would inform you guys on how you can submit your assignment. Okay.
All right.
I'll create a form for that so you guys can submit.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Don't worry, it's sent to the group. Go ahead.
Please, the like for me, for the the assessment, we are
Yeah.
meant to post the screenshot of this class on our LinkedIn and other media social media platforms. But personally, I have an issue with my LinkedIn account. It has been restricted for some time
Restricted.
now. And
Yeah.
yes, and if you check the message, it's not only me. Some people also have that same issue. How do we tackle that?
Okay, you would definitely have to report to LinkedIn, and LinkedIn will have a way of helping you resolve that. They have their processes. Probably you have done something, and you know, I don't know, you've broken the, or you breached one of their policies. But regardless, let's see how it goes. So that's that for that. Okay. So don't worry for the assignments. These are the assignments. I will drop a link. Don't worry. I will drop a link on a Google file, and you would take your you take your assessment from there. Okay. So that's that for that. Never mind. Okay. Don't worry about your assignments. It will be resolved. So any other question? Any other question? Go ahead, please. We are running out of time already. It's already 9:30. Please, let's be fast. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening, sir. My question is about
Evening.
analysis for qualitative and quantitative data. Like, I know that
Mm-hmm.
quantitative data, some they use questionnaire. So how did they
Yeah.
analyze that kind of data gotten from questionnaires?
And most
Like,
times,
is it the same with
we need,
the Google form, the likes of Google form?
yeah. See, analysis is analysis anytime, any day, anywhere. Now, those data you gathered, if you did your project work, project one, chapter one, chapter two, chapter three, and so on and so forth, you do questionnaire, right? Before you give it to a data analyst to do for you, what do they tell you? Bring your questionnaire, Abby. And from your questionnaire, the data analyst will now create insights from it. And they can now generate, I will check your question. They can now generate insights from it, and we are good. Right? You generate insights from that, create a table like this table. Can you see this table? That thing that you went to share, you can imagine what your data analyst will now do. Sometimes they will tell you do the work of compiling the values and give me in Excel or in Word format. The data analyst will transform it to this kind of format. And the next thing the person will do is do these things, all these small things. Now you're seeing what your data analyst is doing, Abby. Then they will not create all these things and be telling you, so and so and so and so person did this, so and so and so and so person did that, blah 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 and blah. And you will just come and be shouting, and the guy is just charging me anyhow. Okay, oh yeah, do it now. So you see the work that the person is doing, right? So whether it is qualitative or quantitative or is questionnaire or survey or anyhow you want to say it, they gather this data set and they present it in this format, and good. At the end of the day, you will now be seeing 30% or so and so persons agreed, strongly agreed, disagreed, whatever. You see the process they use. So that's that for that. Did I answer your question properly?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Any other person? Okay, yes. My friend is right beside me and they're asking if they can. Oh, more. It has ended, though. It has ended. Why did the person not register since? Hmm? I will beg my boss to allow your friend register. I will beg my boss. The registration has been on for over a month. I had to beg for an extension, and it came up. The extension had come and ended. The person is still wanting to register. You see that there is much value. Some of you want to see it first before you make payment. Why? I was like you. I was like you. And when I saw the opportunity, I grabbed it because I knew something was just telling me, something told me that Vector Hub has a lot to offer. And I grabbed the opportunity. So don't waste your time sitting somewhere, paying money to somebody that will not teach you anything. Okay? So I'll talk to boss and see if there's still opportunity for your friend to hop in. Okay? I'll try and see if there's any opportunity for your friend to hop in. All right. So I also want to ask a question on that aspect of LinkedIn. I don't really have a LinkedIn before, and I've been trying to create one. Okay, but it's not possible. You don't have. Okay. You know what? Chat me off. Chat me up after the class. Okay, or just drop a message on the group that you are the one. Don't chat me up privately. Just drop a message on the group and say, you are the one that have a LinkedIn account issue. The technical team will take it up from there. Okay, they will assist you. Or I'll drop link issues on how to create an account. Can you hear me? You are with me.
Yes, we can.
Just good, good. Any other question? Any other question? Any other questions so we can end the class? All right. So I want to say a very big thank you to everyone that has taken out time to join us today. I hope you have gained a lot. If you gained a lot, type yes, 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 yes in the comment section. I want to see. Give me that vibe. Clap for me now. Did I not try? And people are not clapping for me. Oh, Chim. What have I done to you people? So you not learn anything today. Ah, if you not learn anything, say not learn anything. No, let me know. I can see it. I'm not feeling the vibe. I'm not feeling the vibe. I'm not feeling the vibe. Feel the comment section. Feel the comment section. All right, all right. Thank you so much for joining. I think we've come to the end of today's class. See you in our next class. Thank you, and do have a lovely night rest. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Nice.
Please go to the group chat and tell me one or two things you learned. Oh yeah. Everybody to the chats and tell me what you learned from the chats. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Bye for now.